Okay, thank you all for joining today. I will give you a really good understanding of the new Pro Series ceiling speakers. If you have any questions throughout, obviously just let me know, and we can answer that together. The Pro Series, really, there's two halves to this product. It's a multi-room audio system, like our other Wi-Fi products, but you can also create a full like home cinema setup as well, if you wish. So there's two sort of halves, and we'll cover those halves, the technology, applications, what they're typically used for, and obviously if you have questions, just let me know throughout. So I think most of you know who we are by now. Obviously, there's me, Wesley, team, product designers, engineers, trying to make good quality audio products, but just with a little bit different. They're all active in ceiling speakers. So that's basically what we're doing. And what the Pro Series is just the next layer up. So we have Bluetooth, which is good, Wi-Fi, which is better, and then Pro Series is our top line one. If you guys want to have a go at this, if you open your phone camera and scan the QR code, you will be able to see the product in augmented reality in front of you on your desk. And you can really explore the product and see exactly how it looks, virtually through augmented reality, which is quite cool. But as I said, it's good, better, best, and the Pro Series is at the top end of our of the product offering which we have. Okay, so even before we started launch the product, the Pro Series has won the CEDIA award for the best new hardware product, which is a great start for a new product. And the reason CEDIA really like this product and the why it won is that it really encompasses the future of home cinema and home audio all in one product. It's super easy to install, like our Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth models, and it's got various other connectivity options, which I will show you in a second. But the main, the concept is exactly the same as the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. All in one ceiling speaker, has everything built in. Just add power, which you can get from a lighting circuit. The difference really is the connectivity and the power methods and what it's capable of doing, which is the same. But the idea, the product concept of an all-in-one ceiling speaker is the same. This is just the best, the top of our range that we will offer. So the first main difference, so in this presentation, really, I'm going to cover the differences from the Wi-Fi one. Like, the basis. So this is just what's different and why this product is better. Okay, so the first thing is that you can power these speakers straight via PoE. So just from a Cat5 or a Cat6 cable, you can power straight over the Ethernet, and that's just the same connector that would go into the lighting circuit or the plug. But now you need nothing more than a Cat5 or Cat6 cable to power that product. So that means you do not need a qualified electrician to essentially fit this. If you're running cabling infrastructure for a Rayco Lutron lighting system, for example, you can just put a ceiling speaker using that same cabling infrastructure where you can power these speakers straight through it. This is a patented technology. It uses PoE++ standard, which is the latest high power PoE standard. The speaker only needs 60 watts of power, and PoE++ can transmit either 70 or even 100 watts of power. So you get the same performance out of powering from PoE, a lighting circuit, or the plug. It's going to sound exactly the same. Okay. You can either mount the module on top, like so. It's 120 millimeter depth, if so, or you can mount it on the side if you do not have the height available. You put it in the surface, either way around into there. So just a real, a new way of powering the speakers, a lighting circuit, a plug, or via the PoE module. So this comes as a bolt-on, so it doesn't come as standard in the box. So you can buy it like this and you power it like you normally would. If you want to power via PoE, you buy the PoE bolt-on, which will just fit on. This is only for the Pro series. You cannot use the PoE with the Wi-Fi model or the Bluetooth model. It's purely for the Pro Series is the PoE side. Okay. Then the other half of the like other updates and features is you can now hardwire this product. So either you can still go through the Wi-Fi network. The Pro Series has got the 5 gigahertz band and the 2.4 gigahertz now. The Wi-Fi model only had the 2.4, so better Wi-Fi connectivity and also a hardwire connection for data. The reason for 2 ports, that's a data in and that's a data out. So you can go from your switch to 1 or your router to 1 and out to your next Pro Series, out to your next speaker, so you can daisy chain the speakers. So you have to go back to the router only once. So that is really where that comes in, is if you've got a more commercial application where there's a high traffic of people, where wireless solution may not be the best solution, you want a more wired solution, then the Pro Series allows you to do a hardwired connection, as well as all the benefits of a wireless solution. Okay. Then the other side is from a voice control. If you're using an Alexa or Google or any other voice control system, we've built the Alexa and Google MRAs, the codes directly in the speaker. So it uses the Wi-Fi network rather than a one-to-one connection like Bluetooth. So it's way more powerful. It means I can, from one Alexa or one Google, control all the speakers in my house. Whereas with the Bluetooth one, it's one-to-one. That Alexa controls that speaker. So you get a lot more control doing it through the Wi-Fi network. Then Pro Series has the RCA input has been removed, and now it is a digital optical input, which is on the side of the speakers. So really it's for existing hi-fi equipment where you want to connect your audio to. We're not really recommending it for TV because you have less volume control through an optical. With the TV, you would use the Wiser technology, which is what we'll cover off in a moment. The speakers have got full high resolution audio. So later this year, Spotify is about to release Spotify Hi-Fi. There's obviously Tidal, Q-Buzz, various other high definition audio services. They're only good if the hardware that you're playing it through can process that signal, that lossless data, and reproduce it out of that speaker. And obviously the Pro Series is at 192 kilohertz at 24 bits, so you can process all of that high-res audio through this model. We've actually retuned the whole speaker for use in ceiling, so from a sound quality point of view, you'll be able to hear the difference between the Bluetooth and this model. It will sound crystal clear. It'll be much better. From a hardware perspective, we've designed this with longevity in mind. So by that, what we mean is you can, if you want to power, there'll be bolt-ons like PoE, Wiser, which is in this section here. You can also change the brain of the speaker, which is, you can see in here, that's the main chip, which is all the connectivity and all the protocols, all of that built into there. But we've designed it on a double stack PCB board that if we decide in 5-10 years time that the technology has moved on, there's a new Apple, a new Spotify, a new Google, then we can change the brain of the speaker. The amplifier and the speaker stays the same. That technology isn't going to change that much, but the connectivity and the protocol and the processing power is all done on there, which we can upgrade and change if we want to. Okay. So lots of good updates there. From an install and setup point of view, you can see really, in addition to powering from a lighting circuit, a plug, you now have PoE. In addition to wireless, you have Ethernet. In addition to, in changing from RCA, you have an optical, and then there's various other connectivity options. So the idea is the same, all in one. It's just the connectivity and the way you can power, which is different. From the wireless connectivity side, we've tried to build all the major wireless connectivity options and the hardwired options straight into this speaker. So you have the ultimate in connectivity. So you have Wi-Fi, which is now dual band, Wiser, which we'll cover in a moment, but we'll give you home cinema, AirPlay 2, Google Cast, which is new. So for Android users, you can cast straight to this. You have Spotify Connect, a new service called Airable, which lets you have Tidal, Deezer, Amazon Music, Qbuzz. There's a whole lot of music streaming services. An interesting one is one called Sound Machine, which allows you to transmit commercial audio, so for restaurant shops, bars, pubs. So think of it as Spotify, but you're allowed to use it in more commercial applications. So you can use that with a hardwired connection in a cafe or a restaurant, and you've got a really nice setup. The Pro Series has also got Bluetooth built in, so it's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so true all-in-one, as well as all the other connectivity which we've covered, from a NAS drive to DLNA, UPnP, the optical drivers for Control 4, and various other ones which we're currently working on. So a slight change in the way we're thinking of how we're going to be using the products, or for consumers, is most people want to just open their streaming service or open their phone and then connect and play. So people don't want to go into the Lithe Audio app and find it and then group and play. It's just too long. So what we're changing is the Lithe Audio app will become more for setup and configuring, changing the name, setting the EQ settings, which there's a full DSP, a digital DSP on board the Pro, so you've got a lot more control of the EQ settings. But in real world and every day, people will use either AirPlay 2 to group their multiple brands of speakers, not just ours, and we'll create a multi-brand, multi-room setup. Or for Android users, they'll use Chromecast and be able to do exactly the same thing and use them. So Lithe Audio app is for setup, and day-to-day use will be through either AirPlay 2 or Google Chromecast for general every day. And who is the Pro Series for? So really, like I said, is good, better, best. Bluetooth is for single room solutions, from someone just doing their bathroom to a hotel room, or a kitchen or an extension. Wi-Fi is for residential multi-room audio, and the Pro Series is for all of that, but also gives you home cinema capabilities, and also for more commercial based applications or larger projects where you may want to have a hardwired connection and not go purely wireless. That's where the Pro Series would really come in. So that it has all the benefits of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and for audio and some extras. That's one half of the product. The second half is that you can now create a full Dolby Atmos home cinema setup completely wirelessly using the Pro Series ceiling speakers. So if somebody is talking to one of us about a home cinema setup, they're talking to us because they really want something of high quality. They may not really understand what Dolby Atmos is, but they want Dolby Atmos, and they've seen it on TV, on Netflix and that, but they'll want that as part of their home cinema, probably. They'll have a slightly higher budget because they're not going to, a retail shop and buying a product off the shelf and fitting it themselves. They're talking to us because it's more of an integrated solution that they're after. They will not want any cables visible whatsoever. And they'll probably want it for music as well as for movies. And they won't want any mess or headache or fuss because they just want us to do it all and just make it work. The challenge that an installer will face is that hiding cables in the walls is not always easy in every building type. It's okay if it's a new build, but if it's a retrofit project, or if they've decorated already and painted and plastered, it can be a difficult thing to do. So there's many challenges that an installer is going to face putting a traditional home cinema type setup in. And really, there's only two ways to do it. That are probably 90% of the customers now that are putting a home cinema setup is doing it using an AVR, cables, and then passive speakers all around. The new way, or the alternate way of doing it, is to do it completely wirelessly using the Wiser technology, which lets you do exactly the same, but without the need of an AVR. You just need a screen a TV or a projector, and your active speakers, which are any Wiser speakers. So you can actually do a full wired solution, full wireless solution, but also a hybrid solution of some channels which are wired and your rears and your ceiling as wireless. So there's three ways of doing a home cinema type setup. So who is Wiser and what is it? So Wiser is the Wireless Speaker and Audio Association. They're a global organization. They're based out of America. There's currently about, well, I think it's 78 brands now, international brands that are members of Wiser. And what they are doing is they've created a global standard for high definition audio, which delivers virtually no latency, and you can create up to 8 channels of wireless audio that are perfectly in sync, which and then enables you to create a home cinema type setup. But the idea is that there's lots of different brands all doing the same standard, then everything works together. You can have one brand sub, one brand ceiling speakers, one brand's floor standing speakers, and all of it is going to work completely seamlessly together. Okay, so I'll just give you a little understanding of the technology behind it and how it actually works. So in the actual product itself, this is the Wiser chip in that section. This is a bolt-on because not everyone is going to want to do the home cinema side. If they do, they buy the Wiser module, which is the chip in there, 2 screws on the top, and that cover will come off. The Wiser module would go in, just push and click, cover back on, and that is now a Wiser ready ceiling speaker. The protocol can handle up to 8 channels completely wirelessly. So you can create, a 7.1 or a 5.1.2, etc. All the speakers that are Wiser, like part of the system, are Wiser certified. So we had to go through a whole process, takes a few months, and Wiser, we send product to Wiser, they test it in their labs so that the customer is confident that they're all going to work seamlessly together. And what Wiser's trying to do is become, how like Intel was the Intel inside of PCs, Wiser will become the Wiser inside of high resolution wireless speakers in the future. Okay, so that is their objective, and we are just one part of that Wiser ecosystem. A common question that people or dealers will ask is, well, what about sound quality? Is it going to be less than if I did a wired solution? And the answer is basically no, it's exactly the same. It's full high resolution audio, which is transmitted completely wirelessly. There's virtually no latency 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 all 8 channels are perfectly in sync, and it's fully scalable from a 2.0 stereo setup to a 5.1.2, for example. So you can start small and build, or you can go straight into it. And the reason it can do this is the Wiser protocol does not use the Wi-Fi band. It doesn't use 2.4 or 5 gigahertz band. It uses a separate band altogether, which is much cleaner. There's very little traffic on there, and it uses a low range version of that protocol. So from the sender, only 20 meters. So it's only for that room, and creating a multi-room home cinema setup for that room. So it's a really clean, robust protocol which you get. And the setup on what you would have. So if you want to create a home cinema setup, you would have one of these products, which is a sound send that connects to the HDMI ARC or eARC output of any TV. And then that will transmit to your 8 channels of audio. So, and that decodes in full digital Dolby Atmos to all the various Dolby protocols, basically, and you can transmit completely wirelessly. There's 2 types, I guess. There's also Wiser ready TVs. So all the LG TVs from 2019, all the nanocell and OLED models, they already have the Wiser protocol built into their TVs. And then you just go to the sound settings in the menu of the TV, select your channels, assign your speakers to each channel, and then you've got a completely wireless full cinema setup without any AVRs, no cables, nothing. So it's a really good way of doing it. Any other TV, you would add the sound send, and then that will wirelessly transmit to any Wiser certified speakers, basically. Just to give you an idea, there's quite over 70 brands are already members. So these are TV manufacturers they're either members, or you can add a sound sensor to any TV and they will transmit. So LG are current members, Hisense are, Bang & Olufsen, Sharp, Philips. I think Sony and Samsung eventually, I think they will pretty soon. But the key is any TV, you can add a sound send and it will transmit and turn it into a Wiser ready TV. These are speaker manufacturers which are members and actively producing or about to launch Wiser certified speakers. And what Lithe Audio is like the Pro Series is basically the height channels of any Wiser setup. So for example, if you had a Klipsch 5.1 setup, with their sub and their floor standard center speakers, then you would add a pair of Lithe Audio speakers and you've got your 0.2 height channels as part of your Klipsch setup. Same with Bang & Olufsen or Savant or any of these. Lithe Audio is the Atmos element to any Wiser setup that you create. None of these guys do what we do with the height channels. So that's one side of it. So we are basically, it doesn't matter what brand you buy into, we are the in-ceiling element of it. And you can create a simple 2.1 setup, or really go up to a full 5.1 wireless or hybrid with your front 3 channels as wireless or wired, sorry, and your rear channels and your height channels, you could go as your wireless. So it's very, very flexible in what you can do with that. Then the other side is you can create a full in-ceiling 5.1 setup or a 7.1 in-ceiling setup with just Lithe Audio speakers. Well, I say just Lithe Audio, you need a +1, which is your sub. At the moment, we don't have a Wiser compatible sub, but it will come. But at the moment, you can use any Wiser compatible sub, but pretty soon there'll be a Lithe Audio Wiser compatible sub as well. So if you were to do a 5.1 in-ceiling, you would basically need a TV, a sound send if your TV doesn't have it built in, the Wiser, 2 pairs, so master and a passive, and 1 master on its own. And then you've got a 5.1 setup. Same with the 7.1, add another pair, and you've got a 7.1 in-ceiling setup. You still get all the benefits of multi-room audio, all of that usual stuff, but you can now do home cinema as well. Setup is really easy. Power your speakers, add the transmitter, open the app. The app will automatically find any speakers within range. You then assign that speaker to which channel, and you just go through it. It's just drag and drop, really simple. You set the distance between that speaker and your seating area, so 8 feet, 7 foot, whatever it might be, and then it will automatically configure all your wireless setup for a full Dolby Atmos setup. Lots of settings within, so you can tweak various settings, so you can really fine tune it as much as you need. So just to summarize, you can really create a full Dolby Atmos home cinema setup using the Pro Series, Wiser protocol. It's full Dolby Atmos, so it's really good sound quality in there as well for the speakers. So lots of other benefits as well. I won't go through all these because I'll send you this PowerPoint afterwards, but it's great for gaming, for Xbox and PlayStation transmit at 5.1 or even Dolby Atmos on some. So you've got a full, can really benefit in lots of different sectors for this type of technology. And if you think about it, the TV manufacturers, they want bigger TVs and they want smaller, thinner TVs, and they want the audio off board. They've started with sound bars, but now this protocol allows you to create a full high resolution audio solution, full surround sound, and you know the TV manufacturers are embedding this technology in their TVs, so they will probably be the ones that will drive the market and the awareness for everybody else that will over. It's going to take some time, I think, because it's still new technology, but over time this will become the standard for home cinema in residential applications. So I'm not saying this is, you've got your dedicated cinema room. That's a different product. But for everyone else that has a living room with their sofa and coffee table and it's one multi-function room, this will allow you to still create a full, really high quality system in just your normal room. So not the dedicated cinema room, that's a different thing. That everybody else underneath, this is what this Wiser technology in the Pro series will really deliver. Okay. So just another product. So we have the new subwoofer, which is launching imminently. So stock actually arrived on Friday of these. So we will have these available. It will go on the website in the next day or so, so you'll be able to see. So this is a micro sub. So I know we've just been talking about Wiser and home cinema, but this is not for that. This is for music and for Wi-Fi and the Pro series, but not for the home cinema side. This is to add the low frequencies for background audio for your kitchen, etc., for all the other rooms. This is only 17 centimeters square, so very, very small and compact sub. And the reason for that is that, in your living room, you want a big sub because you want that bass that really rocks you when the movie's, thunderous bass. But for your kitchen, your dining room, all the other rooms, bedrooms, you want something small that you can hide away, put under the bed, behind the sofa, on a bookcase, for example. But it gives you all the low frequencies that a ceiling speaker can never basically give you. And that's what this will do, basically. Like when you hear our Wi-Fi speakers on their own, most people are really happy. They sound great. You hear it with this, and it changes it completely. It sounds so much better. You take this away, and our speakers just sound rubbish. Because once you've heard it once, you can't go back. It makes such a difference to put one of these in. How to use it? It's plug it in into a wall socket, and it will communicate completely wirelessly through to your Wi-Fi speakers or the Pro Series ceiling speakers. This is not for the Bluetooth model, it's only for the Wi-Fi range. And it will communicate with not just our speakers, but other speakers that have got Chromecast, for example. And you can group and zone and use them for ours and other audio systems as well. There is one active and two passive radiators, fully enclosed sub, which is why we can get it so small. You've got an in and an out on the back. Just that. An in and an output on the back for Ethernet, same as the Pro series. So you can run, you can hardwire it if you wish. Most people only have one spare port on their wall, so you can out of there into here, out of here into your laptop or into your TV, etc. That's why there's two data ports directly in there. And then the other side, from a setup point of view, usually on the back of a sub, you would have all your controls, knobs, and all of that all on the back here. But you can see we have nothing there. It's completely clean. And the reason for that, we've got a full digital DSP, and we have built that all that control within our app, so you can set up all the settings. This is just a new feature on just the Wi-Fi product and the sub, I guess. You can now set an alarm function where you can wake up to Spotify or an alarm or a radio stream or anything you wish. But you can see here, you can set the gain, the crossover, the phase, the low pass filters, various profiles. So you have full control of the settings and the acoustics of the sub from comfort of your sofa, rather than going up and down, setting, listening. So much more convenient from a setup perspective, to get it exactly right for your your applications. Okay. All right, thank you.